Hey everyone, Elite has just announced their 3 new trainers at Eurobike, and this is sort of the third one I'm covering today. I already covered the Elite Square Smart Bike and the Elite Avanti mid-range trainer. And now we're on to the Elite Justo 2, which is Elite's flagship trainer. And this one is honestly not that exciting. I thought that Elite would do something special and sort of make this a more separable smart trainer, especially because Elite never had sort of those party tricks that the other trainer companies had, like the Taxoneo 3N or the Wahoo Kicker Move. There's nothing sort of fancy like that. It sort of just seems to work and it seems to do its job really well. Let's go over the specifications and where I think this will fit in the smart trainer market, and then conclude with my thoughts. The first thing that you're going to notice is different is that it now includes a 12-speed Shimano 105 cassette. 12-speed, I think it's starting to get adopted pretty widely now, but I think it still isn't as widely used as 11-speed. So for some people that might not be the best thing because they might still have an 11-speed and still have to buy another cassette, so it doesn't necessarily add to the value of the trainer. But they are throwing that in, and that is going to be included in the price. So that is sort of good to see for those of you who are on 12-speed bikes and cassettes nowadays. Next thing, you're going to see a less than plus or minus 1%. So it's going to be super accurate and just as accurate as the previous Justo. They said they tweaked some algorithms to make things a little bit better. So now it's going to be as good as it's going to get on a smart trainer. You don't really get better than plus or minus 1%. And they're trying to get a little bit better by saying plus or minus less than 1%. Interesting. As with most top-end trainers, you're going to get a maximum simulated gradient of 24% and a maximum wattage of 2,300 watts. I don't know anyone who's hit 2,300 watts. Maybe Mark Cavendish has at his prime, but unless you're Mark Cavendish, you're probably not hitting those watts, so you're going to be okay here. As you expect, this trainer does feature auto calibration, and it also does have those what are now becoming traditional Elite squishy feet, as I like to call them, and they allow for some extra movement. And the Elite Justo is going to come with a 4-degree one and a 7-degree one. So if you want a little bit of a firmer ride, you can use a 4-degree one, and if you want a little more side-to-side motion, you're going to want to use a 7-degree one. Next off, we've got a 7.2 kilogram flywheel, which is quite heavy, and that's going to make for a more realistic ride feel. And we've also got a 36-month subscription to My E-Training included in this. So that's, I guess, an interesting one. I don't really like that move because My E-Training, I don't really know anyone who uses that. I haven't heard anyone who uses it or really loves it. And then, as with the old Justo, you're going to get 10 Hz transmission, which is going to be great. It's sort of called race mode for most trainer manufacturers. And it's really helpful for when you're racing to sort of hit those top end numbers as quick as possible. Then you're also going to get Shimano Di2 virtual shifting. It's not really virtual shifting because it's not exactly the virtual shifting that most of you are thinking of. It is not compatible with Zwift's virtual shifting. At least not at this moment. It is not compatible with that or the Zwift cog. Sort of unfortunate to see. I would have loved to see some sort of collaboration between Elite and Zwift. But I can sort of see how the training manufacturers might want to keep things sort of to themselves and not necessarily make their trainers bound to using the Zwift. So some other little perks of the Elite Justo 2 is you're going to get easy ramp, which makes it so it's easier to move from one power to the next power level when you are changing from one interval to the next. You're also going to get heart rate bridging and cadence bridging functions from Ant Plus to Bluetooth. So for those of you who are Apple TV users, you can use that, and it's very handy to use. And it works pretty great. You also get Wi-Fi transmission, which is always great because it gives you a bit more reliability than some riders' Bluetooth or Ant Plus signals. So overall, not a whole lot has changed, and the price is now 1,099 euros and 1,199 US dollars. So now moving on to my thoughts. I sort of covered this a little bit earlier, but this trainer just isn't that exciting to me. They had some really exciting stuff like the Elite Square and the Elite Avanti. Those both look pretty exciting, but there's nothing really that new that would make me want to switch from Elite Justo 1 to Elite Justo 2. And I think when you're making a top-end trainer, you sort of need to have at least one big feature that's going to bring riders from the first version to the next version. So Wahoo's been doing a really good job at that, and from the V5 to the V6, there was some decent changes that you can see in there that would make you want to feel like you want to upgrade or at least think about it. But really at the moment, I haven't seen anything that really catches my eye about the Elite Justo 2. That might change when I get my hands on it later on this fall for review. So please stay tuned for that. And that's pretty much all I have. Let me know what you think in the comment section below and tell me whether you're interested in buying any of the new Elite trainers. Thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe, check out my other 2 videos. And with that, see you all next time and ride on.